Hello, guys, and welcome to 21metrics podcast. I'm here today with Quant Juhani Savonen. Welcome, Juhani.
Yeah, thanks to be here again.
Great to see you. So, yeah, we are about to analyze Bitcoin and crypto markets again. So, Bitcoin at 89K. We have seen quite a bit drawdowns recently, but let's see what is going on. Should you buy, sell, or hold, or what? But first, don't forget to check our partner, Sideshift.ai. I'll add the link to our show notes. But yeah, Juhani, so Bitcoin around 89K. What do you think about the market? We are seeing here that
Mm,
retail and wealth are like both selling basically. So we have all these indicators from retail level to well level are like uh,
yeah,
very
it's selling basically, yes.
yeah. So how do you see this like playing out? Are we going to see like a bounce? I was like expecting maybe a bounce, but we haven't seen that yet. Or are we going
Mm,
lower?
I
Or
think we're like stabilizing in recent days, like 3-4 days.
yeah,
A bit more like stable at least, like a little bit more upside, I would say. So it's more like a little bit bouncing, I guess. But I think it's like the market just looks weak or feels weak. Also in tech stocks, like if you look the volatility of this Nasdaq recently, this also like indicates that there might be like still like downside risk awaiting. Also like especially when the economic data in the US is also weakening. So that also might put more pressure of selling risk assets when people have to plan that they have liquidity to do their normal, let's say, groceries and other stuff, as well in countries like US where you probably need some buffer if you expect that, let's say, the economy is not doing so well in the next 6 months.
yeah, agreed. So you're arguing that people need to sell their bitcoins to cover
Yeah, because I think
in
that
the
normally, like, it's really like when we had like the Shanghai stock market bubble, like a couple of years ago. Then when the market tanked, then people sold also Bitcoin actually,
yeah,
because there's been some like research done on like how people sell their assets. So if stocks start to decline as well, then they want to take profit from crypto as well at the
yeah,
same time. If they see that, let's say the indices start to trade down, like we have seen in recent weeks.
yeah,
So it's definitely put some pressure on digital assets as well.
yeah, agreed. I would like to see maybe like the main support being at least at around like 70K. Crypto ones, Julio Moreno expect like the support being at 72K. But if you look to Bitcoin's history, like the market peak of 21 was at 69K. I think that will be one of these like key areas of support. So 69. But yeah, like it's hard to say. Now I have a lot of like FUD going on and like quantum fears and everything. And yeah, I think we should make like bespoke podcast about the quantum threat. But anyways, like a lot of negative things at the same.
Sentiment basically, yes.
Yeah. But let's move on a bit. So, like, if you look at like the drawdown, it doesn't look that bad yet. It's like we can drop like minus 35%, but still, let's say like if you're holding Bitcoin and you bought around like the peak of 126K, you're now like down by 35%. That's quite a lot. So, like
Yeah, especially like when we have now more like asset manager flows as well.
yeah,
So it might actually make things worse because then those people are probably more sensitive of selling.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Like
also what I would expect, at least like when we have more of these ETFs going around.
yeah,
So that could also make the volatility worse when it's not only like the standard type of long term holding anymore, but it's also has more like aspects of those people who actually want to balance the risk of their portfolios.
yeah.
So then they might end up selling crypto, I think.
Yeah, I can guess that they're pretty sensitive to losses, so they don't want to take any losses. And of course, like minus 35 is quite a lot to handle. But yeah, macro. So one wild thing I noticed recently was that like Tether has been buying gold. So is there some kind of like pivot going on? Of course, like Tether has their own gold token X AUT or like like what do you see here? Like why is Tether
Mm.
buying gold and not Bitcoin currently or other crypto?
I think they probably see there more stability in gold, like as a long term, let's say, anchor of the tokens. I think because it
Yeah,
actually would be like more like a business case. I think the tokenization,
yeah,
but I've not checked like what kind of traded volumes these gold tokens had recently. If they have been growing, then it would mean that they would have to buy more gold to back those tokens.
yeah,
That could
yeah,
be like one explanation, but I don't have seen the data of the open interest, for instance,
yeah,
of the derivatives trading gold. But if that would be like growing, like the demand for those tokens, then they would need more gold to issue more tokens, right? If they want to have same parity of gold to tokens,
yeah, yeah. That's right. I think the
because
Pax.
that would be like the main idea as well, like why they issued so much or bought like USD treasuries,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
because then that would indicate that there has been high demand for those tokens, like
yeah,
in the past for the normal like Tether USDT tokens in the past. So
yeah,
if the gold reserves are increasing a lot, then I would speculate that there's like increase for demand for those tokens, or
yeah,
they see that there will be more demand for them.
yeah,
I guess they want to like decouple themselves from Bitcoin because the quantum risks and that kind of things, so that they probably have other user cases than Bitcoin for what Tether can do. So it would be like moving towards the tokenization
yeah.
narrative, I think.
Yeah, well, like Pax Gold is more well known in Europe, I think.
Yeah, I think
Now
so. Yeah.
I'm comparing this. Actually, like Tether Gold XAUT is bigger. Tether Gold's market cap is around like 2.2 billion USD, and Pax G's is 1.4, while the 24-hour trading volume of Tether Gold is 330 million, and for Pax Cheese is like 90 million. So yeah, actually, like Tether's tokenized gold is bigger than the Pax G. So that's a bit surprising, but yeah, they're actually like the market leader of tokenized gold. So that makes sense also
Yeah. So it might be
admire.
also that it's growing actually, and that's kind of leads situations.
Yeah, and like my guess would be that the Tether gold is bigger in Asia, for example. They want it more, and while it's not that well known in Europe and
Yeah,
US.
that's what I would expect. Why the gold is growing, because also if Asian investors that normally are only limited to cash and let's say real estate, like in China, then they actually would like to use assets that are close to like the normal markets, and then they use those gold tokens, I think.
Yeah, there is a huge company. They have a like huge balance sheet. So of course they want to but to
Hmm.
diversify to like other
Yeah,
assets.
and also like probably just they want to like decouple from the Bitcoin narrative, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
would be reasonable as a company as well
Yeah,
to be
makes
less exposed to let's say one crypto asset
yeah
themselves.
makes perfect sense. Yeah, let's move on. Let's look at like Bitcoin's year-to-date performance. So here we can see like that gold is up by 54%, and then Bitcoin is down by 6.5, Ethereum down by minus 12. So it doesn't look good. And Bitcoin used to be correlated with Nasdaq. Now we're seeing Nasdaq being up by like around 15%.
Yeah,
So this ugly chart, I would say, but this is the truth about the market. So yeah, it's not good. And I don't know, like maybe there's like panic going on, and then the quantum threat, I would say, and maybe the DATs, digital asset treasuries, might
yeah. I
be
think they make just the market really leveraged, I would say,
yeah,
because when you have these treasury companies, then they will tank a lot if market even slightly moves down. Like
yeah,
we
but
have
this
seen in MSTR, basically it goes like more than threefold than Bitcoin, right? Like if we saw, let's say, 20% decline in Bitcoin, then it was like 60 or more in MSTR,
yeah,
and
I
that
think a lot.
probably that likely increases the volatility of the market as well, like further.
Yeah, a lot of people were probably like expecting a bullish Q4, but it has been disappointed for many, and now
I think so, yeah.
now as I said, it looks pretty weak. It's a pretty like ugly chart. But let's move forward. So yeah, about the correlation with Nasdaq. So yeah, Bitcoin used to be pretty correlated with Nasdaq like throughout 25, but then like very recently it has not been
But it
correct
also like
because
looks more sensitive, I think.
yeah,
That both of them like declined, but Bitcoin just got really hammered compared to Nasdaq, I would say.
yeah,
Like almost like tenfold. I think
yeah,
it could be also just because the Bitcoin market is so levered that people have basically bought Bitcoin with through those treasury companies, right? Because like we discussed in a couple of times before, there's like over 20 of those different
yeah,
stocks that buy the Bitcoin with basically by issuing debt. So that actually might make the crypto market even more volatile, I think, at least in Bitcoin side.
yeah. As we can see here, I feel like something broke on October 10th. Like we had this like liquidation event, and then there are like funds and market makers, and I think like something broke, and market hasn't been the same. It was like pretty bullish until the October 10th, and then like we
Yeah,
were
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, and
I,
then
I think also like in the derivatives, like outside exchanges, like CFDs, you see that a lot of market makers ask pretty wide bid ask actually at the moment.
yeah.
So it could be also like indication of nervousness in a lot of market makers as well.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, the 10 event broke the market. It hasn't been the same after that. I don't exactly know what went wrong, and there's talk about like Binance having an oracle, and there's something went wrong, and I think like many institutions also suffered then, and it hasn't been the same. Like market lost the
Mhm.
energy, and it hasn't been returned.
Yeah, it's more sensitive, I think, so for downside risks.
Yeah. But let's look at MSTR strategy. Today I think Sailor like proposed this like MSTR bank. So basically, it would maybe want to pivot into banking. I don't know, but there's been lot of talk about like the whole sustainability of MSTR, whole structure, and we are seeing now about 50% of MSTR supply being at loss. So that's quite a lot. That's actually we are close to like late 22 figures. So I don't know. Like hopefully Sailor can sustain this, but still it doesn't look good. Or how do you read this? Is
Yeah,
MSTR?
it looks super risky for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then he has all these other products, like not only MSTR but like other ones. It's
Yeah, actually.
pretty like a complex structure. It's very hard to say is it sustainable. I don't know if anybody can really say it, but it's
Yeah,
suspicious.
it's
At least I would
yeah,
say.
if something really happens, then it's just like the bankruptcy lawyers that will tell
Yeah.
if the company is solvent or not. But I think it's just the main problem is the volatility of the market. I would say, like if
Yeah.
you would see it draft down so that the prices go below 65K,
Yeah.
then it would start to like question if MSTR actually can pay back the loans. Like
Yeah.
because credit market would also start to have issues probably giving more money to these treasury companies, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Fred Krueger.
Because because
Yeah.
the business model in the end is needs to issue more capital all the time, right? To basically buy more Bitcoin or tolerate, let's say, lower, let's say, levels.
Yeah. Fred Krueger just like commented on this, and he says that like the fundamental risk of for MSTR is basically that in this negative cycle you have like a rising cost of capital. That's the first thing. Then like dividends might be suspended, and then stocks will tank, like we are seeing MSTR tanking. And then he says that there might be no buyers for the debt or shares, and then the eventual outcome is that the only way for MSTR to recover is to sell BTC. That's like the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's
So
kind of like the main risk that we have talked about. That if let's say junk bond market freezes, where basically all these companies are funded.
yeah,
Like if it let's say the yield doubles overnight, then it might be that these companies are not able to issue more debt like they have told that they can always do these preferred shares, but if there's no buyers for preferred shares, then they basically have to sell Bitcoin or it'll go bust, right? And the
Like,
biggest risk is because I don't think like MSTR needs to fail to create a cycle because there's like smaller treasury companies that have smaller balance sheets. So
yeah.
those companies might fail actually first, and then you could have for like 2007 banking crisis where one fails and then there's like domino basically.
Yeah, there could be like cascading effect, like
Yes,
that,
because then if the prices fall, then basically MSTR has to feel margin calls
yeah, yes,
or
but
some other players, and then it becomes like a bit like 22 in the crypto markets, right? When we saw
yeah,
these large draft downs and a lot of margin calls.
yeah. So if you have cash, we might have like good buying positions ahead. So if MST really
Yeah, I think so. Like
trouble,
if anything goes slightly wrong, then it causes massive cascades, like we have seen in equities also as well.
yeah, yeah. I also remember like if you were around like during the ICO cycle of 2017, and I saw like wild things happening then, and there's stories about these ICOs like funding other ICOs. So it's basically like leverage on top of leverage. So you would have
Yeah, actually.
and then what happened was that like in early 18 the whole thing like collapsed basically, and then you have this like leverage effect which is strong, and then you have this like de-leverage effect which is like brutal. So we might see something similar. I'm not hoping that Sailor like will get liquidated, of course not, but
Okay.
there's a risk, and if you have
Yeah,
cash.
that will be like market weight risk, I would say, because then also a lot of other institutions will likely fail, like exchanges or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm, yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting, I think, because myself, I see it as MSTR as just like call option basically, because there's so much depth that
Yeah,
you don't really own any equity when you buy the shares, but you more like buy the hope that Bitcoin goes a lot of up and then MSTR will follow. Like we saw this massive correction from April
yeah,
lows in the summer. We had like what's the increase in the price? It's all like almost 100% or something like that, like 40,
yeah,
40, 50 or something like that at least.
yeah,
So that's also like how I would mainly use these like MSTR type of treasury companies, because you basically buy call options that don't have maturity or duration time, that you just basically buy something that is really levered basically. And that's why people shouldn't probably use them as a proxies for Bitcoin, I think so, because they are so levered. As it's kind of like same thing as levering like the IBIT ETFs 5 times or something like that.
yeah, yeah. That would be brutal if MST really needs to sell their Bitcoin, but it's not happening yet. We'll follow what's ahead of
Mhm.
us. But yeah, is a deeper correction ahead? I think so. I think we'll at least go to this 69.72 area. We could even,
Yeah, it doesn't look promising, I would say, because
yeah,
people are selling still.
now we're seeing the ETFs dumping. That's quite normal. But like also we're seeing that these deities, many of these are not buying anymore. So this is Metaplanet of Japan, like the MSTRs
Yeah,
Japan. They're not.
it's always good like top indicator. I think when they
Yeah,
start buying, then you probably shouldn't be
exactly.
there anymore.
Yeah, if you like look at the top right there, that's a clear indicator. They have been buying for months now, and that's something to look at. It might
Mhm.
be an indicator, and then also Bitcoin has been buying less. I think they have also now stopped buying, and MSTR now owns 3.2% of all Bitcoins in circulation. That's quite a lot. So wow, this might be a perfect storm ahead. We'll see what is going to happen. At least exciting times. So I think you have a strong position if you have a lot of cash and you're ready to buy, but then it's hard to time the market bottom, and but I just have
Yeah,
this feeling that we good to go a lot lower because we have all these factors now being priced in, and that's my scenario. So
yeah.
yeah,
I think if there's like large liquidation, then I think the crypto native companies can still like decline easily, like 60%.
yeah,
Because
that's right.
a lot of those companies were trading like 20 cents a share, and then they're still like €1, €1 USD, quite a lot of them. So then there's still like downside, I think, especially because those are like really speculative assets, like crypto as well itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because the sentiment is still really like bearish, so I don't really see any improvement in that side.
Yeah, and like technically, we're not seeing any strong bounce here. So that is also like it's a very basic thing. But
It's a little bit. Yeah, we
but,
had like today a bit, but not really
yeah,
like anything large, I would
so
say.
so the demand is not there like on these levels. It's lower, I think. So yeah. But,
Yes.
to all traders, stay safe and. I think you're in a strong position if you have cash and liquidity, then you can buy lower. I think this is what Juhani will be doing. You have cash reserves and you're just waiting for the market to.
Yeah, it's better to wait, I think. It's also
Yeah,
like in equities as well. It's gonna like there's like some sectors that are better now because they're really cheap compared to 2 years ago. But tech and crypto is really where
yeah,
I wouldn't do many things. Let's say next 6 months.
yeah. This is what the smart money plans to do. But I think we can wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Juhani, and hopefully we can see you here again.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Yep.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot. See ya.